Today's video will be on sieve analysis of soils. Today's special video will see a practical problem on how to determine the particle size distribution of soils. So we'll plot the particle size distribution curve and we will calculate the percentage of gravel, sand, silt and clay, and stick to the end of the video to get free Excel template. So stay tuned. So a sieve analysis test was conducted using 650 grams of soils. We have sieve opening in millimeters and we have mass retained in grams corresponding to each sieve size. We are required to plot the particle size distribution curve and calculate the amount of coarse grained and fine grained soils using unified soil classification system. So before determining the percentage of coarse grain and fine grain soils, you have to know the difference between these two classification systems, the unified soil classification system and the AASHTO, or American Association of State Highway and Transport Officials classification system. They are the same more or less, but there is quite a little bit difference. In unified soil classification system, gravel materials are materials which are a grain size greater than or equal to 4.75 millimeter, whereas in case of AASHTO classification system, gravels are materials which have grain size greater than 2 millimeters. And when you consider sand using unified soil classification system, sands are materials which are found between 4.75 millimeter and 0.075 millimeter, whereas in the case of AASHTO classification system, sands are material which are found between 2 millimeter and 0.075. In both classification systems, silt and clay or fine grained soils are materials which have a particle size less than 0.075, and silts are materials which are found between 0.075 up to 0.02 mm, and clays are particles less than 0.002. So the picture on the right side indicates nested sieves. So we have sieve number from 4 to 200, and you have a container which is found below 200 sieve, and this is called a pan. And when you want to calculate the particle size distribution curve, you have to calculate the percentage retained and percentage finer. Percentage retained is mass retained on that particular sieve divided by total mass multiplied by 100, whereas percentage finer is 100% minus percentage cumulative retained. So say you want to calculate the percentage retained on number 4 sieve. So what you do is the mass retained on number 4 sieve divided by the total mass retained multiplied by 100, whereas in the case of percentage finer, you subtract the cumulative retained on that particular sieve from 100%. Let's see practical example. So the first thing is you have to construct a table. You have sieve number, sieve opening, mass retained, percentage retained, percentage cumulative retained, and finally percentage finer. So we have sieves from 3/8 up to 200. You have sieve openings in millimeter corresponding to each sieve size. Remember that pan is not a sieve. The mass retained is given for each sieve. So to calculate the percentage retained, we have to know the total mass. So you add the mass retained on each sieve and you will amount to the total mass. The total mass is 649.7 grams. Remember that you will use this figure while calculating percentage retained and not use the total 650 gram. So to calculate percentage retained, you have to take the mass retained divided by the total mass multiplied by 100. So for number 3/8, you have 0 divided by 649.7 multiplied by 100 is 0. For number 4 sieve, 53 divided by 649.7 multiplied by 100, you will get 8.2. You will do the rest of the sieves in similar fashion. To calculate percentage cumulative retained, you add retained materials on that sieve and the previous sieve. For number 3/8, you have 0. For number 4, you have 0 plus 8.2, you have 8.2. For number 10, you get 8.2 plus 11.7, you have 19.9. So we'll fill the remaining rows in similar fashion. To calculate percentage finer, you have to subtract the percentage cumulative retained from 100%. So 100 minus 0, you have 100. 100% minus 8.2, you have 19.8. 91.8. And for number 10, you have 100 minus 19.9, you have 80.1. The rest are filled in similar trend. This is the particle size distribution curve. So you have particle size on x-axis on log scale, and the percentage finer or percentage passing are plotted on y-axis. And this curve is the particle size distribution curve. The next task is to determine the percentage of fine-grained soils, which are percentage of silt and clay, the percentage of gravel, percentage of sand, and percentage of the percentage of coarse sand, medium sand, and fine sand. To calculate the percentage of silt and clay, we will refer the table on the right hand side. So according to Unified Soil Classification System, silt and clay are materials which pass the 0.075 sieve or number 200 sieve. So any materials which are smaller than 0.075 are considered as fine-grained soils. So 0.075 sieve on sieve opening. So the percentage finer are 15.4. So the percentage of silt and clay will be 15.4. The percentage of gravel is materials which are retained on number 4 sieve or materials having a size greater than or equal to 4.75 millimeter. So materials which are greater than 4.75 millimeter or retained on number 4 sieve are 8.2 in percentage. So you can either use this 8.2 or you can subtract 100 minus 91.8. In either case you will obtain 8.2. To determine the coarse sands are from 4.75 up to 2. You have 4.75 and 2. So you subtract 19.9 from 8.2 or 91.8 from 8 minus 18.1, 80.1. So you will obtain 11.7. Medium sand from 2 up to 0.425. So you have 2 and you have 0.425. So subtract 53 from 19.9, or you can subtract 47 from 80.1, and you will obtain 33.1. Finally, for fine sand, materials are from 0.425 up to 0.075. So you have 0.425 and 0.075. So you subtract 84.6 minus 53 or 47 minus 15.4. You will obtain 31.6. So this is how you determine the percentage of coarse grained materials, which are gravel and sand, and fine grained materials, silt and clay. So if you find this video helpful, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel And if you want to obtain the Excel spreadsheet, please subscribe to this channel. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.